So I've been going through a few old interviews, lots of podcasts that I've done over the years, hundreds of them. And I was inspired to do this one by paying for tyres, new car tyres. So you may have shopped online quite a lot lately for some unknown reason. And you may have come across something called Klarna, which is when you get to the checkout process, which is one of those options for buying now and paying later, essentially replacing your credit card, 0% interest. And this is how we arrive at buying new tyres. So there are lots of services like Klarna, such as PayPal, I think they call it PayPal Credit, and ClearPay, things like that. You may have shopped at Marks and Spencer's, John Lewis for the same sort of thing. Let's see, so Swedish company Klarna is in the news for recently launching a rewards program and has a global base of more than 200,000 retailers serving millions of customers. Leads me to this video. Back in May 2016, I actually had an interview with one of the co-founders of Klarna, Sebastian Siemiatkowski, and I asked him why it took so long for someone to come up with such a simple concept. And this is what he said.
Allowing people to just shop using name and address is kind of a naive idea that perhaps only a couple of blonde guys from Sweden could really believe was going to work. And that people were actually going to be nice enough and pay for it. So I think it was kind of healthy to start in a very trust-oriented society where, everybody pay their bills on time and so forth.
Yeah.
And only then kind of expand that throughout rest of Europe where prerequisites are somewhat different. So I think that helped. I think to a large degree, the initial years, people rather looked at us and say, look, that's kind of Stone Age. What are they talking about? Paper bills. I mean, that's not the future. I think people many times get hung up on the technology in itself. Oh, it has to be, fingerprint readers or whatever. And that's really what's going to revolutionize the market. To me, I'm much more interested in what is the underlying consumer behavior? What are consumers and customers really looking for? Safety, simplicity, and how do you create that? I was just on the phone call the other day with Wall Street Journal where we were discussing our offline that we're launching in the offline stores because we've only been online so far. And the journalist asked me hey, how come you're doing this over text messages? I mean, that's not really new technology, right? And I'm like, no, that's right. But that's exactly the point. My mom understands a text message, but she, NFC freaks her out, right? I mean, she doesn't want beaming money. That's scary to her. But sending a text message, she gets it. So sometimes you just, you have to find a balance between technology that could enable new cool things, but also, looking at people's behavior and what people really feel comfortable with using.
So it's really nice to be able to go back and listen to some of those old interviews, especially if they're not available online anymore, which is a real shame. It says a lot about protecting content, evergreen content, keeping those services going that don't cost a lot of money to renew every year. It's evergreen content, don't let it mothball. Anyway, back to the interview, is that it's about keeping things simple. Don't use technology for technology's sake. You work hard with technology so that you can make it easier for other people. Anyway, I hope to bring you another snippet from one of my old interviews very soon.